Well, here it is. It's about 9:10 in the morning on June 27th, 2004, the 35th anniversary of Stonewall. And I'm going to be on the Pioneers float. It's amazing the changes. The parade kicks off at 12, we get there at 9. Here's St. Patrick's. St. Patrick's is a little interesting. You know why? We used to demonstrate on this place every year. Let's see. And there's the barricades up for St. Patrick's, of course. And police everywhere. And that's our meeting point where you see those balloons in the foreground there, which is somewhere around there. 52nd Street. We'll be back with you shortly. Oh, just one more look at this incredible temple of hate. Temple of unchristian activity because it refuses to love, only to hate. Did this on the 25th, I'm doing it now on the 35th. This is Jerry Hughes.
In the Village Voice that's on the stand.
And this is Bob Soler.
Is an excellent, Wayne Hoffman did a thing on Christopher Street. We should take it. You don't read papers.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Did you read The Voice?
I haven't gotten it this week.
Well, get it. It's very interesting. Very interesting. I happen to be in it, but that doesn't make it interesting. No, he does a very good thing on...
Not at all, right?
It's like the rise and fall of Christopher Street. Very interesting.
How many times has it risen and fallen since I've lived here?
Not much. No, this is the big one.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the famous Jerry Hughes. Jerry, can you remember what you were doing 35 years ago at this time? I bet you can.
What was it, the morning? Well,
it was the morning of the first March, yes.
Oh, of the first March? Well, I think that I was worried that we were going to be murdered.
And worried about how many people would show up?
I was worried about how many people
if we were going to be alone?
Right. And we would just, I think I spent that morning mostly with my friend Dana. Do you remember Dana from GLF?
Yeah, of course.
And we were like hanging out on Christopher Street where the first march started.
The Christopher Day Street Liberation Day Committee.
The Christopher Street Liberation Day
And in my bag here, Jerry?
Excuse me?
In my bag, I have one of the original stickers.
Oh.
Which is framed. I'm going to bring out when we get on the float.
Where are you going? Oh, okay. And as the day progressed, I believe that the march...
When did you realize that we were a success? At what point? I didn't realize that we were like 23rd Street.
Yeah, I guess about then too. When we
were so busy arguing.
Street,
you remember all the arguing?
Well, I don't remember arguing, but I remember when we left Christopher Street, we had a fairly decent crowd. We had a fairly decent crowd, and I really thought it would be, a couple of hundred people, and I was happy with that. Also, you may not remember this, but some of us old-timers referred to the first march as the first run, because we went so fast. Because we were worried. I mean, we had death threats.
Do you remember that feeling when we walked into Chiefs Meadow?
Oh, I get chills when I think about it today. When I got in there and I turned around and looked and saw...
And they kept streaming in.
Oh, I'm getting chills right now.
Okay, Jerry, for history, tell me yourself, what do you primarily think want to be remembered for of the last 35 years?
Well,
and keep it clean.
I've always been proud of my participation in the riots. But I have to say, to me, if it had just been the riot and that was it, I don't think much of it would have changed. I'm much more proud of my participation in Gay Liberation Front that stemmed out of the riot.
And all the things from a Gay Liberation Front.
Gay Liberation Front began everything. Everything came from Gay Liberation Front, and our upfrontness, our out there, our in your face, our militant attitudes, changing from wanting to be accepted to being proud to be gay. I consider being gay a blessing. even then, if I had the choice of being gay or not being gay, I picked gay. You should interview Dick.
This is Dick Light. Dick,
Yes.
tell us your claim to fame as a gay activist.
Well, I was head of Mattachine for years and years and years. I was at Stonewall, and I'm the only gay person who wrote an eyewitness account of Stonewall.
Okay, give me your impression of Marty Robinson.
Marty Robinson, he was tall and thin and kind of cute.
Okay. Do you remember me walking into Mattachine in May 1969?
No.
That's where I met Marty Robinson.
Oh, okay.
He was walking out
I
at the
see.
time.
Okay.
That's how we started talking.
Now I remember 1969. I was very young, and I don't.
And how old were you, or what year was it when you did the Dick Cavett show?
1970 something, 71.
Wasn't it before 69?
No, that was David Susskind before 69.
I'm sorry, David. That's what I meant. David
What year
Susskind.
was that?
Yeah. What was the David Susskind one?
David Susskind was about 1964, I think.
Because that's what got me into doing what I was doing.
Yeah, okay.
I was let me tell you this. I was 13 years old. I got my
God.
TV, put it under my bed, and watched that show. And it's when I
my
decided to move
God.
to New York.
Wow.
And then came the action group, GLF, Gay Youth.
Oh my God.
No, you were the first.
You were the first person. Yeah.
I was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
you saw that same show?
Yes.
To me, it was 11:30 or 12 at night
I
in
was
Philadelphia
so thrilled.
on
I said,
PBS.
"Oh my
You know, everybody
God."
saw David Susskind, and the odd thing about that was, I have the newspaper clipping at home that show got the highest ratings of any show David Susskind ever did, except for the time he interviewed Khrushchev.
Dick, what are you doing these days?
I'm sort of retired, actually. I've worked restaurants for many years, and quit my last job and haven't got another one, so I guess I'm retired. I didn't really mean to retire. It's just that
Can we get a photo of the three of us?
Yeah.
Yeah, hold on. Again, I'm going to put it on the photo move. Yeah. Okay, hold on. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Jack Nichols.
And Jack, what were you doing 35 years ago this morning?
Well, actually, I was on Fire Island, but I got back on Sunday, and right after that, wrote the very first commercial gay journalist's account of the riot, which I gleaned from a transgender person on the street who told me about the kick-up line and all that kind of stuff.
Tell us what you've been doing the last 35 years.
Well, I edited America's first gay weekly newspaper called Gay in Manhattan here.
Just somehow remember that for some odd reason.
And you were in that, right?
Many times.
And
Didn't you want do something sensational?
Oh, I can't think of all the sensational things I've done. Actually, if I consider my major work was published by Penguin Books, and that was called Men's Liberation. It was subtitled A New Definition of Masculinity, because I figured if women are going to be our equals, then
and what are you doing now? Tell me what you're doing now.
I'm editing gaytoday.com.
From Florida?
From my,
Have you moved?
the Bad Puppy site. No, I live on Cocoa Beach in Florida.
And I am going to get down to visit you, I promise.
Huh?
I still have that invitation, right?
Oh yeah, sure.
I'm coming, don't worry.
Yeah, no, that'd be great.
Okay, let me get the Rich. Rich? Okay, introduce yourself.
I'm
Hey,
Rich
Rich.
Wandel. What can I tell you?
35 years ago today, this morning, what were you doing?
I was still in the monastery, as a matter of fact.
I mean, you didn't come and argue with us until later?
I came into the movement, came out and into the movement in the spring of 1970. And after a while, I became the second president of the Gay Activist Alliance. And one way or another, I've stayed involved. My current project for the past number of years, I'm the founding archivist historian of the Lesbian and Gay, Bisexual, Transgender Community Center's National History Archive.
Yay!
Yeah, that's what I'm doing now.
Oh, did you see the little piece I had? Hold on.
It's ready.
Okay, Alan, what are you doing here?
Well, I'm celebrating.
What are we celebrating?
Celebrating gay pride and gay liberation.
Now, what were you doing 35
And
years
also the fact that I'm still alive, which is also worth celebrating.
Okay, what were you doing 35 years ago today? Do you remember?
35 years ago today, I was getting ready for the first ever, no, it was 34 years ago, the first ever gay pride march.
And you remember what we were doing? And what were your concerns that morning?
My concerns were who the hell is going to show up? Was it being more? There were about maybe 75 people that attended GLF meetings and maybe 75 people that attended GAA meetings.
My guess was 100 that
And you
day.
add that up, it's 150. So
You were
I
more
think
optimistic than me.
those were the only people that we were pretty sure about.
Yeah.
We
And when did you realize how big we were that day?
I can't remember.
Jerry and I remember being in the 20s and looking back, and then the chill, and
how many people.
then the
I think
excitement in Sheep's Meadow.
I think, yeah, definitely. Like people.
All right, tell us what you've done in the last 35 years.
The last 35 years.
Yeah. Tell us your success.
Well, in the last 31 years, I've been living in the country in Massachusetts, in a community. It was started by a group of gay men, and the sad part is I'm the only survivor of the original group.
Well, you're not the only survivor today. We're all here.
No.
There's a lot of us.
But many people have joined our community. I've been very active in a rural area, being an openly gay man living in a very rural area.
Who is the one person who's not here with us today that you wish was here?
Well, it's hard to
Just
pick
one.
Just one. Why do I have to say name just one?
Name one. That's the question.
I think Sylvia Lee Rivera.
Yes.
Jerry, if you could pick only one person who's not with us today, only one, who would it be?
Oh, that's easy for me. Michael Brown. I consider.
Mine would be Doug Carver.
Yeah. Well, there's so many. It's hard to pick one. Everything
We had
was
business
elitist.
cards?
Everything was elitist.
Everything was elitist.
Yeah.
We had
Either
business cards.
elitist
Don't you
or
remember?
sexist.
I am standing here with Arnie Kanowitz and Joe Kennedy, two GAA founders. And let's start with Arnie.
I'm not a
Arnie,
founder.
well, but you're a historian for GAA.
I'm a long time.
Okay, let's start with Arnie. Arnie, do you remember what you did 35 years ago today?
On this very day or in general?
On this very day. The first march, do you remember?
Indeed, I do. Gay Activist Alliance marched. We started with a few hundred people from several different groups, Mattachine, GLF, and we went up 6th Avenue on the sidewalk and then in the street.
How many of us did you think there were going to be?
About 300, and there ended up being about 15,000. And I would still call that, at this advanced age, the best day of my life.
I couldn't agree with you more. When did you realize how many people we had?
Not until we got to the Sheep Meadow in Central Park and we turned
the chills?
around
And you'll never have
saw
those
what
chills
was
again,
coming
will you?
behind us. It was one of the greatest thrills of my life.
Okay,
And
Joe?
Arnie described that very well at the GA reunion at Stonewall 25.
Yes.
When he was our keynote speaker, and there were about 100 of us there, and so many people oohed and ahhed at that memory.
Okay, here's a hard question for both of you. And Arnie will give you first. The one person, only one person who you wish was here today.
Well, there's a lot more than one,
More
but
than one.
Only one.
for today in specific, I would say Jim Walls, who was the first president of Gay
Yeah, I would
Activist
say the
Alliance.
same thing.
What about Marty Robinson?
Marty Robinson should be here. Vito Russo should be here.
Morty Manford,
Yes.
Oh,
John
Morty.
Paul Hudson.
Morty took care of all my legal needs on the Cronkite thing. Did you know that?
We have a long list.
Yeah.
I remember reading it at the 25th reunion. And, I would
And you
say
did a
we're
great
all
job
here
on that,
today.
Joe. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes, I thank you for that.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Now, I've been interviewing everybody here today so far who is GAA, GLF, and GY. Actually, none of my GY members have showed up yet. I'm waiting.
Smart.
George is the doctor who thought of the word, or coined the word homophobia.
Okay.
They're
Yeah,
smart,
George, we'll
yeah.
be with you in a minute.
GY?
Okay. Gay Youth.
Oh,
Please, it's the longest existing gay organization in this city now, and I'm its founder, and I'm very proud of that, Frank. But now let's get to Frank. Okay, so we're talking about 1969, but Frank goes back, way back. Frank is probably the pioneer here today. Frank, tell us a little about yourself.
I founded the gay movement in Washington in 1961, and that initiated gay activism in Normandy. I coined the slogan, "Gay is good." That's sufficient.
If there's one person you'd like to see here today who's not here, who would it be?
Barbara Getty.
Okay, George, homophobia, where did that come up from?
I was fighting my profession and they were all kind of assholes. So I decided
they're so frightened of gays, so I figured they got the problem, not the gays. So I decided, hey, you guys are sick, and women too. So the word came out quite naturally.
And are you surprised at how well it's been taken around the world?
Unbelievably overjoyed. It's the greatest high in my life. It's like the dream come true.
And
see all these people here too.
When did you come out?
Well, I'm not gay, but I should be.
Thank you.
Part of the group. Yeah, Joyce.
Joyce, do you remember what we did together for the first 3 years of this march?
Fight?
No. Marshaled?
Marshaled, that's right. Marshaled.
And we did fight. Always at the front. Always at the front of the march. Okay, so tell me what you've been doing since.
Since then, as you know, I co-founded with Steve Ashkenazi here the Harvey Milk High School and the Hedrick Martin, what is now the Hedrick Martin Institute. And I'm also here remembering Damien Emery, who founded the Hedrick Martin Institute, which was originally called the Institute for the Protection of Lesbian and Gay Youth. And in the early days, I was the spokesperson for Lesbians Rising and worked with lesbian feminist liberation. And now I got my social work degree, and I'm a doctorate in social welfare, and I'm a research scientist in AIDS. I don't want to be a...
You'll have the sunburn.
And there's John. Hi, John.
We'll have the secondary glory.
Happy gay day.
Wait, I want to get a picture of this. Come on, kiss, guys. Hug.
Oh, hi. John, when we get off the boat, you're going to come up to my house, right?
Yeah. Missed you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sit up here with me. We'll sit here together.
We're all going to come up.
Did you hear what I said? She said that the float won't go out there, and I said, well, then the float won't go out.
Right.
We'll sit here all day and
We'll rip it to shreds.
Really?
That's the spirit, guys. Revolution.
But we'll do it with parliamentary procedure.
We won't. We'll do it.
We won't. It's consensus.
There's two floats?
Yes.
Yes. I don't want to be on that one.
So we have the GAers.
That one I don't even
other
talk
float?
to.
No.
Yeah, that's what we can put the GAers on the other float.
Because they're later.
It's like two synagogues. That one I wouldn't.
Then we have the older people on this float. Then we have the younger ones on another float.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Well, how old do we have to be, John? I got great.
First march is the
high school.
It's the first march.
You're one of the people who can pass.
Thank you. Yes, so sweet.
But it'll be great, but it'll never be that great.
So how are you doing?
That was.
Well, we're all getting along for the first time. And that's wonderful.
I liked it better when we.
Do you remember the 25th when in the jail? Oh, were you in the jail hall?
No.
We all fought. They were fighting.
Well, the more things change, the more they stand.
It's like I stood up. Do you remember that?
You're holding up.
I'm holding up.
I never got a copy of that. I never got a copy of the picture.
You know, I can't.
You'll get one? Ask you to do me a favor, I'll give you a favor. I want to put a little bit of roast. I need that Virgo button. You don't have it. I don't think it's. I think you got to pay. I can put out something. No, I'll give you that. Because it's the only one I know. Go ahead.
You see this guy here? Let me tell you a little story about him. He used to work. I know. What his name is, Rahim Ahmadiyya.
Yeah.
He was a reporter for Channel 3. Did a lot of interviews with him.
Yeah. He's an intelligent, smart person. He's not a dumbass, you know.
Lots of people in front of it. Slow it down a little bit.
I have to like
You don't like what fact?
Okay, hold on. I need history.
Mark says, when did you first meet?
Okay, give me your history.
My history?
Yes, give me your history. Name, history, come on.
My history in the movement?
Yes!
My name is Steve Holt. I live in New York City. My history, I am not a Stonewall veteran. I was not there. I was
Me neither.
Not involved before Stonewall.
I remember you from the first march, Joyce.
Yeah, that's
we
what.
were the coordinators.
We were co-coordinators.
Yeah. We argued the whole way up 6th Avenue.
You were
No, you mean the first march
on
on
Washington.
No, the march here.
No.
I was not at Stonewall either. So
right.
I became involved
He was
just before the first anniversary of the riots. So I became involved in June of 1970 because I had heard about the event, the first march on BAI, and that people were meeting at Alternate U, and I came to that meeting. It was the first gay event I had ever attended.
Okay, what did you just ask me?
I said you still have that vile creature, Malcolm Blazin.
Now, why do you say that?
Because I had an interaction. He was, I think, one of the executive directors of the Millennium March, so-called Millennium March. And, I don't think I've ever met anybody so arrogant and obnoxious in my life. We went to Philadelphia.
Unfortunately, we still have him. He does something now called, he used to be called Pride Fest, now called Equality Forum, and he's still, as you remember him probably.
Who's that, Mark?
A guy by the name of, he's not worth,
nobody I know?
he's not worth,
I want to know where all the
Still around. I see my.
Okay, Steve Ashkenazi, tell me about yourself.
I'm still around.
We all are.
Oh, is he? You see him? And I'm still active.
What do you remember from the old times?
What I remember from the old times.
He would have come.
Because for 2.5 years, I was the chair of leaflets and graphics, which meant that I was the only person allowed to use our Gazette and mimeograph machine. It was very fragile and broke down frequently, and so nobody was allowed to touch it. So every leaflet,
Gestetner machine, yes.
Gestetner,
I remember that well. All our gay youth flyers were done on that.
Leaflet, every pamphlet had to go through me.
Except when I took it over, I used to, when you weren't around, take. You knew that, didn't you?
I hope not.
I did.
After Tom Du was the first chair of leaflet and graphics, and then it was me until the firehouse closed. And so I did all that. Anyway, this ring is Morty Manford's.
Oh.
I bring it to all major events.
Did you know Morty was the one who took care of all my legal situations with the Cronkites app?
Yeah. 3 or 4 years before Stonewall. And do you remember Hal Hoffman?
Yeah.
He made this belt. He sold it when he was broke.
When he was broke?
That's very short.
It was a little side business.
Most of us were. Did you know Frank lived on 20 cents a day in the 1960s?
Yeah. Steve.
20 cents a day.
Steve, you said something about Morty. This is
Alan, how much did you live on at the worst part? A week.
How much did I live on? Maybe $20.
Let's face it.
Okay.
I originally met Marty in a tea room.
Hold on. How much did you live on at the worst part of during the last 35 years?
Say that again?
What was the lowest amount of money you lived on a week in the last 35 years?
0.
Okay. Frank was 20 cents a day. Jack?
20 cents a day.
Oh, I can't. I'm sure I've been working all that time, so I made at least 100 a week.
Oh, you were the rich one.
You must have been hustling.
In GAA days?
Oh, you GAA people were the rich people. You were the establishment. Okay, what were you living on?
I was living on ripping off the local grocery store. Steaks were flat enough to put in here.
What did they used to call that?
I would especially go to A&P because of the great boycott, and I felt noble by doing it to the A&P.
You remember the word? You remember the word they called it? Mopping.
I did, however, just write a book that's just come out called The Tomcat Chronicles, and it's an account of my youthful indiscretions. And I did.
6 o'clock? We would get there at about 2 or 2.
Yeah, we'll get there at 2.
Thank God.
Hurry up before I faint.
Okay, Gene, tell me your memories about the first march and our fighting.
The first Gay Pride March, it was beautiful. It rained in the morning, but that wouldn't have stopped us. Look what's happening for 35 years. Over 1 million, beautiful.
Did we argue?
With who?
Did you and I argue that first march?
Never. Never have. I don't argue with my brothers.
Do you remember the picture we got in the New York Times?
Yeah, I remember that. This is my message to the Catholic Church, okay? Clean up your own house before you come after us. As far as President Bush, you suck, man.
Thanks, man.